and I think it turned out pretty well. You can see we got a really nice finish on there, and we're just taking off. It's 1.1 degree on it, so we're not taking off a whole lot of material because it's going to be a pretty thin edge. All right, we're all ready to start making the handle scales for this brisket knife. I got the blade. It's ready to be sent out to the hardener. They're going to heat treat it, hopefully get around to 58 Rockwell hardness on it, but I got it in this sleeve to help protect it because I do have it hand sanded to 120, so don't really want to get any more scratches in it than absolutely necessary before it goes to the heat treater. But we're going to start making these handle scales. So over here, I've already prepped this yellow G10. I've ran 120 grit on the face of it. Just gives the epoxy something to bite into. I split that block. That's going to be the outward facing, so I split it down the center here. And I've just scratched up the back with 36 grit. Again, gives the epoxy something to bite into. So we'll get you guys set up here, and I'll show you the process of how I get these all taken care of. All right, so I just put a piece of wax paper down on this flat board, just in case I do get any epoxy down. It makes it easier to get this stuff up. You can wear gloves because this stuff is it's a bear once you get it on your skin. The stuff I use West Systems, and I use the fast set epoxy. And it's all pre-measured out. So you do one pump of the resin, one pump of the hardener, and it takes the guesswork out. You don't have to sit there and weigh it. I've had really good luck with it. Haven't had any issues. Just get it mixed up, and I've prepped all the surfaces with denatured alcohol. Got any dust out of there. This customer, he asked for a Michigan theme, so I found this block of wood. It's a maple burl with blue epoxy, and I found some yellow G10 that I'm going to pair up, make a liner. I think it's going to turn out really nice. So earlier today I split this block down the center, and it's a really nice piece of stabilized wood. The color goes all the way through. Whoever made this, I can't take credit for it. They did a really nice job. Now that's pretty well mixed up. Just spread a thin layer out. It does not take a lot of epoxy. Kind of get a sneak peek of what it's going to look like once we get it all hand sanded down. That blue in this stabilized woods has got a ton of depth. Kind of jealous. I'd make a knife of my own for it. This customer's going to be really happy with this. Just kind of spread out a little bit where that block's going to lay. It's not too critical. You just want to make sure you have an even coat. Like I said, it doesn't take a whole lot. So now, I did label these which way goes up because I have a book matched pair after I split that down the middle. Just like I said, it doesn't take a lot of epoxy. It doesn't take a lot of pressure either. You can crank down on these clamps and squeeze out all the epoxy that you put in there, and you're left with barely any to hold it together. So it's a fine line. Once hardened, that epoxy will do its job. I had another C-clamp around here, but I cannot find it. Alright, so we'll let that harden overnight. And, we'll cut out the G10 and we'll cut it out to a rough cut for the knife. And we'll finish up the front so that when we do get the knife back from the heat treater, we'll be able to just pair these right on and start profiling the handle. Right now they're obviously way too thick. That's going to be too thick of a handle, but it gives us the ability that we can really profile it down. I don't like to thin them out too much before I start gluing them up, because then once you take too much off, you can't put it back together. All right, we got these handle scales. We got them all glued up, got them taken apart. The epoxy's all dried. This is the next morning. So I'm going to put them on my surface grinder attachment here, and I've actually got this at an angle because I want the front of the handle blank thinner than I want the back. The easiest way is just throw it on my surface grinder attachment here, and the best way that I found to do it is you put some masking tape, just, it doesn't matter what kind, on both surfaces of it, and then put some super glue with the applicator, and put it on there. Then you can peel it right off, and the only thing that's stuck to the actual piece is just the tape, and both surfaces are stuck together. So we'll get you set up over here. It's kind of what we're looking at, this surface grinder attachment that I've got, and we'll start getting these ground down. So as you can see, we've got a nice taper to that, and that's how thick we started out. So that'll make for a nice set of handle scales there. You see, that's a rough 36 grit, so that's really going to polish out really nice. Kind of a little preview of what that'll end up looking like is something like that. So I'm going to get this other one done. We'll bring you back. All right, so there you go. I went ahead and I got these just rough profiled out. It's still larger than the knife itself, but once I get it glued up, then I take it over to the 2x72 and get the final size on it. But went ahead and I got my 5/32 holes drilled in it, and that's pretty easy. You just pair them up. Then what I did was just sandwiched it between the knife, then just drilled it. But makes it pretty easy. Now I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. I've got a couple different options here. I've got this mosaic pin. It's kind of hard to get that focused in. Maybe using that, or just this standard nickel solid rod. So haven't decided yet. Not sure what's going to look the best on this. I'll probably go with just the standard nickel. I think mosaic, there's just a lot going on in this piece here, so that may just be overload on it. So we'll probably just go with the standard, just the solid nickel. But got that all profiled out, and now we're just going to wait for this to get heat treated, get it back in the shop. We'll put it all together, do the final grinding on the sanding on these handles, and get it profiled down. Thanks, guys.